Yo, it's your homeboy Kiiro in the building. Welcome to part one of my Aokiji VS Akainu series. This series celebrates my 40th episode of my One Piece discussion series. So this is the video I've been promising you guys. Before I start, I would like to make three things clear. Number one, I do not own any rights to any of these characters. No copyright infringement is intended, and no disrespect is intended either. Number two, this video series contains potential spoilers. Number three, this is not an AMV. An AMV shows you things you've already seen or already know. This series includes things absent from what we know. Before we proceed, I will explain the format of this series. This series will comprise of three parts. Part one, similarities. In this part, we will talk about things that admirals have in common. So we'll establish the facts and the bare minimums we can expect from these two admirals. Part two, we talk about differences. And this is essentially us taking these two admirals on an individual basis and considering the individual feats, as well as talking about techniques that we've seen and techniques that we haven't seen, i.e. Potential techniques. So these are techniques that, like I said, we haven't seen, but these two admirals could have for one reason or another. And I think this is going to be the most exciting part of the series. Part three is called Punk Hazard, and it basically deals with the events that transpired on Punk Hazard, what happened on Punk Hazard, the events, and like the order of things that happened. Basically, we're looking at part one and part two, and we're using our logic of other stats and everything to deduce how things went down on Punk Hazard when we consider all of the powers and all that kind of stuff. So it's very hypothetical, but I think part one and two are going to be excellent. Part three is mainly a bonus content video. So it is what it is. Now that we've gotten everything, now that we've gotten all of that out of the way, let's begin. First of all, we have the Universal Admiral abilities. It is stated as a fact that all admirals from the rank of Vice Admiral upwards have at least one form of haki. We've seen the admirals use observation haki to detect the Moby Dick underwater long before the troops on the ground, and we've also seen them use Armament haki to suppress one of Whitebeard's shockwaves. Both feats are pretty impressive, and we can deduce that all admirals can use both forms of haki, and they're pretty proficient with haki. That said, I can only assume that they can use armament hardening. This is a new world technique. We did not see this pre-time skip, but I would not be surprised if these admirals can use such a technique. Whitebeard was able to overpower giants with relative ease, and both Akainu and Kizaru held down his Bisanto with one foot at one time or the other during the war. This means that these two characters have very impressive strength. Aokiji didn't get a similar chance to display such a magnitude of strength during Marineford. However, he did stop Zoro and Sanji with one hand each earlier on in the series, when before Water 7, when he first met the Straw Hats and stuff. We also know that all admirals are expert devil fruit users. Now, we haven't seen Fujitora go all out or anything, but at least these two admirals in question were able to use island-wide techniques, and the only other characters we've seen use island-wide techniques, the only other Logias are Blackbeard and Ace. Now, Ace is a pirate who had a very high bounty, and this is a character who also did not have haki or could not use haki. So we can assume that they are bare minimum Ace level of devil fruit usage, and Ace was definitely an expert. You cannot have such a high bounty without haki, without being on that level with your fruit. So I would say that these guys are definitely experts with their fruits. We also know that these two admirals in question fought each other for 10 days in a row, proving that at least these two admirals have a lot of endurance. We cannot say the same for Kizaru, but these are the two admirals in question, and so this applies to both of them, just like the island-wide technique thing applies to both of them, but not necessarily to Kizaru. Finally, as admirals, both characters have a lot of experience. That means they have battle prowess, and they're not going to fall for simple tricks and battles. So we're going to have a very nice, interesting battle, and this explains why the battle took so long. It took 10 days. If one of these admirals lacked experience, I'm pretty sure the more experienced one would have pulled some sort of trick on the said admiral. Yeah, that's pretty much it for part one. In part 2, we will look at them on an individual basis and talk about stuff that we have seen, as well as stuff that we haven't seen in terms of their powers. And this is probably going to be the longest, most detailed part of this series. I'll start uploading part 2 when this video either has 40 likes or when I release episode 50 of One Piece Gist, depending on which happens first. So in the meantime, feel free to comment, subscribe, or check out my other vids. As always, thank you guys for watching.